Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? This is Karthik Poovanam. I'm a leadership coach and author. How are you? Such an ambience, spectacular ambience, and such wonderful place, and such amazing tranquility I'm experiencing. And I thought of sharing certain thoughts with you, which unfortunately should have been taught by the universities, which should have been taught by the people at house, but because they themselves are ignorant about it, they cannot teach you something that they're ignorant about. It's a big tragedy. Unfortunately, we have created a world where everything is having a capital tag on it, is having a currency associated with it. There is a monetary system which has got the entire planet into a loop. So when this is the case, when the moment you come out of your house, you are under the influence of currency. Anything that you want to do, you have to spend money. Like for example, I've driven over 100 kilometers away from the city. There's money that is put into the petrol, there's money that is put into the diesel. If I don't put it, somebody else has to put it. But just because I'm coming to breathe fresh oxygen, the planet doesn't give me a damn. The world that we have created doesn't give a damn about it. When I go to the petrol bunk and I say, hey, I'm going to breathe fresh oxygen, would you consider, sponsoring the petrol? He's not going to be excited. And nobody is going to be excited as well. So there's money. And for money, you have to earn it in a civilized way, in a legal way. So one thing which the universities have never ever taught is, every month, how much money is actually enough for you to experience the life that you wish to experience. And when I say the life that you wish to experience, I'm not talking about a life where you once in a while feel relieved by going to a bar, vent out your frustrations, go on a holiday at least twice a year. That too is happening very rarely with a lot of people. Go here and there on a little long drive in the weekends. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what is the amount of time you got to consume to generate the kind of money that you require. For a month or for a year, you should have that plan. And when you achieve that, retire. Learn to put your whole life into an autopilot where you're creating enormous levels of freedom for yourself, where you are experiencing the time to choose what you love doing. And most of the times, the things that you love doing often does not have a monetary reward necessarily associated with it. For example, you would just like to sing a nice song or a nice tune you would like to just compose. It need not be the kind of tune that everybody loves to hear, but definitely you enjoy doing it. So you need to have the time, you need to have the energy, and you need to have the resources. So before you begin to approach your career, the first thing that you'll have to ask yourself is, how much money is actually enough for the whole year? And how much time should you be consuming to achieve it? Suppose you're working for 9 months and just 3 months you have a holiday. It's a terrible deal. It's like you give me $10,000 and in return I give you $3,000. It's a very hopeless deal. And nobody would ever agree to this. Would you agree? Giving me $10,000 and in return I give you $3,000 back at the end of the year? But this is a hopeless deal that you have agreed when it comes to working. All that you wanted to do, you are not able to do. All that you wanted to do, you are able to do it only very, very few limited moments of your life. And for that, you are consuming your entire life. So this should not be the case. 9 months of enjoyment, and enjoyment means you are able to do what you love doing. 3 months of working very, very strenuously. So enable yourself in such kind of a skill. Like for me, I have empowered myself as a leadership coach. I work with the leadership community in various organizations, and I have a specific, pricing associated with it. I work with the creamy layers of various organizations, and therefore it gives me that freedom to experience the kind of life that I love to. And I feel I am the single most authority to determine this kind of a lifestyle. Because most of the people who are earning much, much more, maybe even in billions, they are not free mentally. The fear of growth still haunts them. And I've been with a few billionaires, and I can tell you this. Last year during my European trip, I was with a few billionaires. And I will talk about it in detail in my next video. In India, I was invited to a function where the richest man in this country was giving a presentation, was giving a speech. And my thoughts on it also I will share with you in detail. I expressed about this thought from Inesberg. A few people happened to listen to that, but I will speak about it in much detail in another video. So the bottom line is simple. The universities are not going to tell you how much time you need to consume in order to have the freedom to do what you love doing most. Your parents are definitely not going to give that kind of an example because their life has been mostly a struggle. So that is the kind of example that they're going to give you. They're going to tell you that, hey, listen, we have struggled to make you, educate you, to feed you, and now it's your responsibility to get a good job, struggle, and repay the debt back. So this ugly trade business, I will talk about it in some other video. But most importantly, you empower yourself. Be market aware. Understand your skill, how much are people willing to pay for. The end of the day, it is simple. Your time is traded with money. When somebody feels that your time, your skill has certain value, they will employ you, and your time is consumed in serving the skill in the good interest of that organization. So you are expressing your skill in service to that organization, and in return the organization pays you a limited amount of money. So let's say you are making $5,000. Now you see $5,000 and you're working 8 hours a day, and let's say hopefully you're working for 5 days, so you're putting in 40 hours of work. 40, and let's say traveling 1 hour each, so around 10 hours, and so it's almost like you're putting around 50 hours every week. So 50 into, let's say, 4 weeks is around 200 hours. So for 200 hours, you're being paid $5,000. And when you're paid $5,000, how much does the government eat in the form of taxes? We have to calculate that as well. But let's say you are having, in net, let me consider that, you are getting $5,000 in your pocket. So $5,000 divided by 200. Now this is what you are making per hour. Now what does it, how much does it come to? Just see. $50? Yes? Yes or no? Are you making $50? No? How much money are you making? $20? Hardly $22 to $23 per hour. Some serious introspection you got to do. Now this is what your skill is worth actually. A lot of people, I don't want to belittle anyone, but it's very, very important for people to understand what are you doing. Such a foolish trade with your life. Such a foolish trade you are doing with your life. So it's very important for you to first understand, no matter what your qualification is. I know doctors in India, doctors in India, they end up making around hardly 80,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees. If they have the PG, they end up making around 1.5 lakh rupees. And the kind of trauma they go through, the struggle that they go through, the time that they consume, if you look at it, how much does it come per hour? hardly around, $100, not even $100, I would say. $50 is very, very difficult. So this is what, people are reaching. Some of them are able to earn much, much more. But when they earn more, they are getting into that loop of wanting to earn more and more and more, where somebody aspires to have one good big bungalow, a very good villa, and a nice garden, a nice swimming pool. And once they are able to achieve that in a specific time frame, now they have to struggle for the maintenance of it. Now then their one property is not enough. Now they want one more property so that they can get rental income out of that. Now they go into a cycle of creating things. And suddenly some kind of crisis comes, exactly like how it has struck now. And you know that most of the Airbnb properties are vacant. Most of the rental properties are vacant, and it creates another kind of a chaos. So what I intend to communicate with everybody, by now you would have understood, but to just give you a summary about it, when you are getting into the market to earn money by trading your time, very, very important, how much time you want to trade and how much money you will get. By giving limited amount of time and making maximum amount of money, and by giving yourself maximum amount of freedom, is what is going to give you a very, very wonderful experience of life. Do not be a fool where you are giving $10,000 and only taking back $3,000, because this is exactly what's happening to most of the people. Most of the people are consuming 12 months of their life and ending up completely getting hardly 12 days of their freedom time. Because even if they have the personal time and they go to a vacation with their family members, they end up arguing there, which I will talk about it in some other video. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, very, very important for you. What is it that you love doing, and are you doing what you love doing? Very, very important. Stay blessed, stay energized, and wish you a very, very vibrant time. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Good day.